Good morning, I'm Patty Ann. I'm back for another block of the week, and this week it happens to be Jacob's step ladder. As you'll notice, there's a ladder behind me in the video. Anyway, I'll tell you about that in just a sec. But for the Jacob's ladder, we're going to do both the traditional piecing of it, and I'm also going to show you how to use template set A of Marty Michelle's sets to construct it. You know, I just love those templates. They really help me make everything just perfect. But anyway, as far as the ladder behind me goes, I used to work at a quilt shop, and we had a couple of those quilt ladders in the shop, and everybody always wanted to buy them. Well, they weren't for sale. So this morning when I was looking around through the internet, I was excited to see these instructions on how you can make your own. So I'll give you that at the end of the show. Before we get started with the actual construction of the block, I wanted to show you the block in its entirety, or actually several blocks together, and to show you how different it can look. Now pay no attention to these things not lining up perfectly. I drew it out very quickly for this video. Here is what the block looks like with this coloration, and I'm actually using Primavera cotton fabric. It's a new line by Riley Blake. So this is what the block looks like. Now I can show you different variations of the quilt, and that's what I really love about blocks, is that depending on the coloring and the placement or the rotation of the blocks, you get totally different looks. I don't know about you, but I really have a hard time seeing patterns and that kind of thing. There was somebody else who had done a podcast that talked about having a difficult time with that as well, but I don't remember which podcast it was. But anyway, I have a really hard time sometimes seeing patterns, and that's why this program helps me. I actually kind of have to use my fingers sometimes to just be able to pinpoint the actual block. You know, I can't see patterns very well, but anyway, let's get started with the blocks over the cutting table. Okay, I'm going to start by showing you how to make the Jacob's ladder or Jacob's step ladder block using Marty Michelle's templates. Here are what her templates look like, and the one I need is right here. The template set A comes with a small book like this, and it shows 6 different patterns that you can make in here. Martha Washington Star is one I think I'm going to make soon. There's also Bethlehem Star, Rising Stars, Rambler, Broken Star, and Snail's Trail. So anyway, this one that I'm going to show you today is the easiest one you could ever make, because you only need one template for it. This one right here, the 3-inch square, basic square. Now remember that these templates come with the 1/4 inch already added. So of course this template then is going to measure 3.5 inches. So this is what I've cut out already, and this is what the block kind of looks like. But remember, there's lots of different ways that you can organize this block and make it look totally different, as I had shown you in the electric quilt portion of the block. So anyway, these are the pieces that you need. You need 4 of the red, or whatever color you choose, 4 of the yellow squares, and then you'll make 2 half square triangles, or 2 blocks with half square triangles. So to cut these, I want to show you how easy it is to do it with Marty's templates. So I've prepared some fabric here, meaning I just ironed it. So I have this yellow piece that's doubled and the red piece that's doubled, and then I'm going to take it and double it again. But actually, first I think I'll square it up, because this side looks pretty icky. So I'm going to square up this side. Let's see, measure this. Okay, that looks good. Square that up, get rid of that. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this template right here, and I'm going to put it up, butt it up against this side of the ruler. Not of the ruler, of the fabric. And I'm going to move it up and down, making sure that it stays lined up here. And I'm going to adjust this ruler as I need to. Okay. But you know what? This would give me 2 at a time. I think I want to cut all 4 at once. So I'm going ahead and double this like so. Okay. Then I'm just going to put this here so that I know it's on the right, proper side. Butt my ruler up against it, and that tells me exactly where I need to cut. Take that away, start here in the center, come backwards, and then go forwards. Just like that. Now I should be doing this on my mat that spins because it makes it a lot easier. If you don't have a mat that rotates or spins, you can just put a second little mat on top of your larger one and just turn it around. So I'm going to put this back on here now. And I'm going to spin my mat, rotate it, start again here, and then go forward. And here's the good part about these that you make sure that you do is these little corners here. That's the important part, and that's what makes these templates so great. So I'm going to twirl this around, start again here in the center, kind of go backwards and then forwards, and then trim off these little dog-eary guys. So I'm doing all 8 at once. 4 yellow and 4 red. So there are my perfect pieces. And what's so perfect about them is, notice, hopefully you can notice, this little edge right here that's, let's see if I put it on this blue if you can see it more clearly. See how it's angled off? When I go to match that up to sew it with this one, the angles and the angles meet together and it makes perfect alignment. So that's all we needed to do was cut 4 of each of these. And then we have to make the half square triangle units. So you remember how to do those. You just take 2 pieces. Now I want these to measure 6 inches eventually. A 6-inch block, which means right now they'll measure 6.5. Okay, so if I want this to be a 6-inch block, remember I add 7/8 inches to what I cut. So these are both cut at 6 7/8 inches. I'm doing a yellow and a white. Then remember to do the half square triangles. You simply take a ruler and draw a diagonal line. I just use a pencil, nothing fancy. And then I take it over to my sewing machine and I sew 2 lines, one down here, 1/4 of an inch away from the drawn line, and one on this side, 1/4 away from the drawn line. Then I simply cut on the line that I drew, and what I end up with is 2 of these guys. Okay, so again, let me put this together. I do want to show you one other tool that Marty has. Now, I've already clipped these on here. Let's see if I have one here that I haven't clipped. I thought I had some extras over here that I'd sewn. Nope. Okay. Well, I've already trimmed the dog ears off, but this is called her Deluxe Corner Trimmer. Okay. So you can use this for cutting off the dog ears for all kinds of blocks. Notice this is a 90-degree angle. So I'll find the 90-degree part on here, and I'll put this, measure this upright like this, and I'll trim it off perfectly, not to worry. Now I just did it on the dog ear sides. I don't really need to do it on this side, but I can show you. You just put this right up here, measuring it up, lining it up, and just go whoop. And so then when I want to sew this piece perhaps to this one, there's no questioning how it fits, because look at that. It's perfect. Perfect. Okay. To cut this and do it the traditional way, all that you would do is do this the same. You could cut these 6 7/8 inch squares and do the half square triangles. You would cut 4 red pieces that measure 3.5 inches, okay, and square, and you'd measure 4 yellow pieces that are 3.5 inches square. So this is an easy peasy block. And again, I'll set it back up right quick Goes like this. Just one way you can do it. On my blog, I'm going to show several variations again of different ways that you can do this. But it's really an easy block and it's a lot of fun. Okay. So how I would sew this together then, if you're new, is I would sew these two pieces together like that, and these two pieces like this. I would chain piece these two, and then these two. Okay, and then I would sew this and this together, and this together, and then I would sew these to this, and these to this, and it would be done. So that's it. Thanks for joining me for Jacob's Ladder. Bye-bye.